Hi, my favorite people in grade 5. Mrs. Gunther here. This topic of being able to walk in someone else's shoes is actually really important to me. And my job here, working with all of you guys, is also really important to me. And one thing you should know is that I have 3 kids. They're 18, 16, and 14. And my oldest, his name is Owen, and he has autism. He's a pretty cool guy. I actually think you guys would probably love him. There's some really neat qualities about him that make him who he is. And that is one awesome, amazing thing about each one of us, is that we are so different from each other. And it's how God created us and how he wanted us to be. And that is really special. Could you imagine being in a world where everyone was the same? Super boring, right? Everyone has different kinds of gifts and different things that they bring to the world, and it's the same with anyone with autism or anything else. And so I want you guys actually to meet Owen. Let me go get him. Okay guys, meet Owen. Owen, say hi to grade 5.
Hello.
All right, so this is Owen. Like I said, he's my oldest. Owen's in university right now, and I'm going to talk a little bit about Owen and some things that Owen likes, Owen doesn't like, that are often characteristics of people who have autism. So, one big thing that Owen does not like is crowds, right? Going to the mall. He does not like going to the mall. Sometimes people in general. People in general, he doesn't like. He has friends. He has some really great friends. But if he was given the choice whether to stay at home or go hang out with his friends, Owen, what would you choose?
Stay home.
He would stay at home. He likes to be by himself, and that's totally okay. We make him go out. We make him hang out with friends. He just went go-karting a week ago with friends, so he does do some things. Something he's really good at is actually video games. Owen has run his own, what is it, clubs or whatever? What's it called that you run on video games? Clans. You can look at the camera. So Owen runs these clans of how many people are in them?
Like over 50.
Like over 50 people. And so he gets to run these really cool clans, or they're like groups of people all online across the world. And he's really good at it. And so that's something he absolutely loves. And sometimes when you have autism, you actually find one thing that you love and you have a hard time doing anything else, like schoolwork. Right, Owen?
Yeah.
Another thing that is hard or a challenge for Owen is certain smells. So a lot of times when you come across somebody with autism, you'll find that they actually have a super sense, is what we call it. So everybody has your 5 senses, right? And sometimes one of the senses will be like heightened. It's sound, where noises and stuff really are really loud in your ears, where for somebody else they're not loud, it's just normal noise, but for people with autism it can be super loud. Another one is like taste, and a lot of times texture and stuff. So Owen, what is your favorite food? Owen doesn't have very many foods that he eats because of this, but what's your favorite, do you think?
Mac and cheese.
Mac and cheese, craft dinner, for sure. But another thing, Owen has always had the super sense of smell. So he can actually smell things really strongly, and has been able to do that since he was little. And it's something I noticed when he was little. He would smell his food before he would eat it. He would smell other people's food. And it's such a cool little gift that he has, the gift of smell. But it's also kind of a pain in the butt, because Owen smells everything. So first thing in the morning, any kind of smell, the smell of garbage or anything, actually makes him super nauseous, and it's really hard for him. So he can't do garbage duty in the morning. It's also hard for him to eat dinner with our family or go out to a restaurant, because he can smell everybody else's food around him, and so he won't eat because he smells all their food and he's trying to eat his food. It's all these mix of smells, and he's like, nope, not having it. And that's totally okay. That's just part of it, right? Something that Owen's actually really talented in is he's really good at working with hands. So you know, when you're in class and stuff and you get like a project where you get to build something. I know grade 4 did that. That's exciting for some people, and it's like way more exciting than, you know, working in a workbook. And that was Owen. He could learn really well all through school if it was hands-on things. And one thing that he is really, really good at is woodworking. So I'm going to show you. This is a cutting board that Owen made me. I think grade 11.
Yeah, grade 11.
Yeah, grade 11. And these are different pieces of wood in here. It's really cool. He took a long time to make it because he wanted it perfect, and he did a really great job. He's helped us around the house with what we've done. I kind of think his job after he's done university is going to be something hands-on because it's what he's really good at. So that is Owen. I hope you guys enjoyed meeting him.
Bye.
I want to talk to you guys now about what I love about autism. So there's so many really neat things about autism, and maybe you're thinking that it's hard for someone to have autism, which I think it is in its own way, but there's actually so many things to celebrate about autism. And what I love, especially being a mom of somebody with autism, and I've also worked with a lot of kids with autism in my job, and there's so many really neat things. One of them is that people with autism, the way they see the world and how they even talk about things, it's usually the truth. If you want to know something and you need to know if it's true or not or whatever, then you can ask somebody with autism. For example, if I am trying on an outfit, I'm not sure if it looks good or not, I will ask Owen, does this look good? And he can tell me, yeah, it looks fine. Or he'll say, no, it's ugly. Things like that, because he'll tell me the truth. He'll let me know. He's not going to try to make sure my feelings aren't hurt. It's actually hard for him to make sure someone's feelings aren't hurt. And that's actually something that's been tricky in friendships and relationships with him, is because he's just going to tell the truth. And it's hard for him to put himself in other people's shoes, which is something we're talking about. But that is a really difficult thing for kids with autism to do, is to see how others feel, like from their view, right? It's really tricky. So, for example, if Owen got a gift for a birthday that he did not like and it came from a friend, he could open it, and this has not happened, but it has happened to other people. He could open that gift and say, I don't like this gift at all, and just tell the truth. Where if you're at a birthday party and a friend gets you a gift, maybe you don't really like it, but you probably don't want to hurt their feelings, so you're not going to tell them. You'll just be like, thank you so much for the gift, that was really nice. You would say it like that, where that kind of comes naturally to us. But with people with autism, we actually have to teach them how to do that. They don't think about that. They don't think about how what they say or do is really going to affect someone else. So it makes friendships and relationships and playing on the playground at recess, all that thing, it makes it a little bit tricky. And so that is what my job is, and then other EAs in the school too. That's our job, is to teach them those skills. But it's something, like I said, that I actually love about it, because I know Owen is going to tell me the truth. And one time I was talking to him and he pointed to my face and he's like, you have a big zit on your nose. I was like, oh, thanks, Owen. Like, didn't even think about, oh, that's probably a little bit rude to say. He just pointed it out like that. Another time I was talking to him and he says, you have really stinky breath. And he'll say it like right in public with other people around. He doesn't think about how it's going to affect me. So it's things that we've had to teach him. So it's kind of cool because I know exactly how he's feeling. I know what he feels about things. I don't ever have to guess that. He's going to just tell me exactly how he feels. So you might come across that with somebody with autism, and you might think that they're being hurtful if they're saying something like, I don't like your hair, or that's an ugly shirt, and it comes across really mean, and they're not trying to hurt your feelings. They just have to be taught how to say things with kindness and how to think about what it's like to be somebody else and their view, right? So I really want you guys to practice empathy here in grade 5 when you are playing with a friend who has autism and it feels like what they're doing is really mean, where they're not trying to be mean. Another thing is, like we talked about in this other video that Miss Taninga shared, we talked about sensory things, and I talked about Owen having a super sense of smell, and that is something that is really hard for kids in the classroom with autism, because the classroom can get noisy and it's hard for them to concentrate because that noise is so much louder in their head than it is for us. So if you see somebody with autism getting really upset and they seem like frustrated or agitated, then often they'll just need to go for a walk and get out of that. And sometimes they'll say hurtful things or do hurtful things, and it's because they just can't help it. It's really loud in their head and they're kind of getting the sensory overload and they don't know how to calm themselves down or regulate. I think it's amazing that God created us so differently, and I want you guys to all celebrate that and be proud of that, of where our differences are, and realize that we all have these gifts that we all bring to the world, and then God is going to use us for that and for good. And yeah, bye.